all this stuff I'm trying to get going. And I gotta cut the drywall outside because there's not much room in here. It's windy as all get out. And yeah, so I've already put one piece there and a little table over here. Got a shelf. I'm gonna move all this stuff out the way. And then I got my t-shirt press back there. I gotta bring that out. Of course, I got my little AC on, you know. Summertime it's gonna be woo. So I just gotta get this piece down here, up there. Then got my t-shirts up there all ready to go. And then say hi to the people. Okay? Say hi, Money. That's right, Money. You know what it is. Okay? So now, okay, so here it is for the office slash everything, whatever. Over here, I'm going to measure from here to the wall. As you know, there's a joist right here, and I'm not gonna, there's not a joist in this corner, it's way back here. So I'm gonna catch this joist and go all the way to the corner and butt it up here. So here I went joist to joist, half on this one, half on that one. So I can, you know, butt two pieces of drywall together. But there I can't do that. I'm still gonna go to the corner because when I put my drywall tape in the corner in my my compound, drywall compound, whatever, it'll strengthen these two boards together. So I'm gonna take a measurement here, and the measurement's gonna go all the way down. It'll be it should be 29 and I'm gonna go 29 and 7/8. It's gonna be a little tight there, but we want it tight to go all the way against the boards. Let me make sure. Okay. Yeah, that nail can go there too. So we're gonna make 29 and 7/8, correct? 29. Yep, 29 and 7/8. Alright. Cut it. Alright, so here's an update to what we got going on with the shed project. I got the drywall up here. Got the drywall on the back wall. Got drywall over here. I'm getting ready to put down this insulation on the top up there. And I got the hangers to hang up the insulation. I had to wait on that for a little while because it was kind of expensive. And I was almost done with this project. But and I got one light socket here. And that should be good enough. But my wife was like, I want a light in here. I want a light in here. I'm like, why do you need a light? And the shed's what, 10 by 12 or 8 by 10 or whatever. But you know, I'm like, okay, it's all on the same breaker. But I guess she doesn't want to run an extension cord from here and have it sitting on the floor, and wants to have her desk, you know, whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give her even more. I'm gonna wire up a light and a switch from here. I'm gonna come up here, come off of that, go down before I get the drywall up, tie this in, and then I'm gonna put the switch on and I'll put that fluorescent light up there, because I'm gonna be in here doing my thing as well. So hey, I'm gonna give her enough light to light up Christmas in here. Alright, so as I mentioned earlier, we're gonna wire up some electrical. It's gonna go from over there to over here, and I have to do a couple things first. So I probably have to sit the camera down, but I'm gonna do something real interesting here. I'm gonna wire up a light. I'm gonna come off of that. I got it marked because that's my power supply. It's going over to here. I'm not gonna cut the wire yet. I'm just gonna test it and get it over there. And I might not be able to hold the camera this whole time while I do this, but I am going to show you a little bit of electrical if I can, and go from there. So just give me a moment. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and notch this area, so I don't have to, so the drywall doesn't kind of bulge out over here, and I'll put a little notch in this wood right here. Try carefully not to hit this insulation, because that could cause a fire if you got, you know, too much momentum with the drill on a piece of insulation. Even though insulation is not supposed to burn, but the same thing, a trailer hitch isn't supposed to come off too, right? So so let's we'll be careful. All right. So put a little notch in this piece of wood, so that way I can Whoa. I'm doing live action, so what you see is what you see. Alright. I'm going to put a piece of tape over there to cover that up. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that at all. I got a piece of plastic in my way. Okay. That should do it. I just need to get these two wires. Come on around the back. I'll show you in a second. So the reason I did that was now I can take these wires come around here with the wire and make it go in the wall a little bit, and then I can still have my insulation go right down over this, and I don't have to, you know, cut my insulation or do anything. You understand? So I can just have the insulation go over it and hide it behind the wall. Now I could have done this pre-hand, but I've already started. I could have done it pre-hand another way. A little bit different, but it's cool, it's no problem. I don't hurt anything at all. Just notched out a little area. And you'll see I'm going to do the same up there. What I'm trying to do is have a little area. And I will show you later what I've done. So now I'm taking both wires. I'm moving them over here, pushing them in the wall, and that should be perfect. Alright, so now they both need to come up, and that should be just fine. Now I'm also going to move the camera, because when I do this I'm going to show you another angle. The off and on switch, you know, you got your black wire and you got your common wire. So when you flip the switch, it's gonna, the black wire, the continuity from here, everything's coming to here first. So the main wire that's supplying this is coming in through here, and it's coming in, it's gonna come in through this one that's got the tape on it, and it's gonna be black to black, which is common, right? And then it's gonna be well, common is white, and it's gonna be black, it's gonna be your power. And that is the gold on this side. It's gold, so it's always going to be gold for your hot, and then your you know, your common is going to be your white on this side, and then it's going to jump over there to this side to power up both receptacles. And it's also going to come back out of here, and it's going to go to the on switch up here, one of them. It's going to go, it's off right now, so it's coming here, and when I hit on, the connection is going to continue. And it's going to go to wherever I'm going at with the other one, for the other light that's back on this side. So, and what I did was I put a notch in here. Excuse me for the blurs, the camera has to readjust. But I put a notch in here so I can put the drywall over this, and everything will be fine. And then I'm gonna drill an area right here. Alright, right there at that joist. I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna pull down. I'm gonna pull down a piece of this plastic that I can tape up later. Because what I'm gonna do is put a hole in here, but I don't want to hit the tin roof at the top. And then I'm gonna run it wherever I need to go and put it in the joists. But I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I can't hold the camera and do it at the same time, but I will show you the finished results. Okay, so we got the power coming in there, running up to here, running up to this light, running out of this light down over here. It's going down there, feeding this box, and this box is going to that plug, and that plug is going back up through here, back to this light here. So when I flip on the switch over here, I flip this switch on, and lights, camera, action. So you got this old bulb. Let me zoom out. You got this old one here. No, excuse me. You got the old one here, and then we got more light here. So when you're in this, when we're in the shed, it will have more light, and then I will do all the rest of this stuff, and I'll be back at you. All right. I'm gonna go over it right now really quick is about this insulation. I'm using R13 insulation. And what I have here is insulation, and I have 24 inches wide joists. So I have these insulation supports as you see here. So I put these up to the joist here, and I'm kind of like climbing up the ladder, and then I just push the joist that's going across from this side to that side, and I just push it on up there to where it has like a bow and arrow type effect, and you'll feel it when it's up there nice and snug, and just play with it for a little bit, and it'll hold that insulation nice and tight up there. And I have it all down here, and I'm gonna put some plastic in there, and just trying to keep, you know, the shed project, you know, nice and insulated. So when I turn the air on in the summer, the AC, it'll stay in here for as long as it can, and then when I turn the heat on, it'll stay in here as well. And all this will help. It'll help heat it up or cool it down. And I'll try to show you exactly how I put this area up, because these insulation rolls are expensive. You don't need that much insulation, especially if it's something like this, because you're not going to be in here all the time. So what you'll do is you'll cut a piece. Then you can cut it in half or pull it apart. You know, like this is 2 pieces for the edge that I did to make the width. And I'm just like, I cut it. So with that, your plastic and your drywall, all 3 of those combined, what'll happen is, excuse me, that'll help keep your support, you know, keep your air or your insulation in there. And houses might not even have the plastic in there. Some of the newer homes, brand new homes, might, but I haven't seen too many. But the plastic is also that any air that's inside the wall, it'll stir around inside the wall, and it'll just dissipate. It won't come through, so it won't be drafty. And that's the main thing that keeps your light bill high, the draft. So we're working on that as well. So stay tuned, and we'll go on to the next part. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm putting up the insulation, and I've cut a few pieces, and I'm going to put it up here sometimes these joists are a little wider than what they're supposed to be, and a little bit of difficulty getting them placed in exactly. Might be cut a little bit too wide. You just got to get them in there. And then I usually take a staple the first part of the insulation, so when I get up there the whole thing doesn't fall. What I'll do is if I know I have enough on the other side, I have enough for the whole row, the whole joist all the way down, I'm going to staple it so that way this part will at least stay up there. Sometimes it takes a few of the joists to even stay in there, more than one. But you can't never really trust the carpenter when they say that when they've made their cuts, because sometimes they can be a little wider. So I use multiple insulation supports. And if the insulation is too wide, then what I'll do is I'll get some more. Okay. You can cut it. Okay, what I've done is I've put the insulation up. And now I'm going to start the row. I know you might not be able to see it that good. I'm going to start the row right here in the edge. It's very tight doing a shed. Very, very tight. So do the best we can. So I tape it, I do it from side to side. One right here and one on this side just to get it started. So when I put the drywall up, there we go. One right there, one right there. And one right here. That, like I said, that'll get you started. Then you just come on down with it. You get a couple more staples in here. Alright. I don't see how people do these in their houses and make a living. Wouldn't be me. Alright. Now, let's come on down. I might have cut this piece a little short. I don't know. Let's see. You can cut it still. Just like, go do your clock. I'll catch them on the next one. Get a better shot. I'm working backwards. As you see, I've got the insulation up. And that's how I've been pinning it for the most part. And then when I do my insulation, I just take the insulation like this and I'll stretch it out and I'll see, you know, how wide one joist is. And that's 2 feet, about here to here. So where my hand is will be 2 feet. And then I'll just mark it with my hand. I'll say, okay, well that's 2 feet right here. Make sure I don't cut it too short, and I'll just cut it about right here. And I'll grab it like so with my hand and remember where it was. And I'll put my hand around it. And that's about 2 feet. Yep, about 2 feet. And I'll take this knife over here and I'll cut it right here. Knife right here, and I'll cut it right there, because when I roll it all out, it'll only be about a foot left on the end of the roll. So that's how I figured out how to cut it. because you can't lay this out on the ground and cut it that length, because believe you me, it'd be like cutting a tart in 100 pieces. So after I do that, I got it like so. And I remember that 2 feet I was telling you about? That's about 2 feet right there. So what I'll do is I'll grab my staple gun. Staple gun over here. And I'll get back up here. Be sure to wear some glasses, because this stuff really will get you. So, alright. Make sure your insulation is pulled all the way down, like so. And you start your first piece. Let me turn all the way around so I can show you. Start your first piece. I know it looks crazy, but here we go. Start your first piece up here. And put a staple right here. Right here. Because I pulled it enough to where it'll go all the way across. And then come over here. I know you probably can't see me that well, but you will in a second. And then I just staple it up top here. And I'm just getting it started. And I'm going to do both rows at the same time. I'm going to do the insulation, and I'm going to do the plastic at the same time. Okay. Just put enough in there that it doesn't come loose on me when I come down the stretch here. Okay, so now you should be able to see a little bit more what's going on. I'm coming out now. I got it started. And now it's just a matter of me going from side to side, like so. Cut it. Everything falling apart. Get out the damn corner. Alright, so got the insulation starting to come up now. I'm going down the stretch. I cut it wide enough. So all you got to do really is just staple it in. And if you cut it right, like I showed you, you'll have enough. You just come on down. And it'll keep the air out. Because this is a shed with a metal roof. And as soon as that sun hits the top of it, it's going to be, the heat's going to come straight in. And I don't care what kind of air conditioner you got or what you got going on. When that sun gets to beating on that metal roof, it's going to get hot fast. So I'm going to try to help it with a little bit of insulation to keep what you got going in there. And there you have it. Now I'm going to go all the way down the same way. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so here's part of our shed renovation. Here's where we've gotten so far. We got some Ethernet cable. We ran some Ethernet in here. We got this piece up over here. We had this a little windy outside, so I apologize, but we actually had to cut 2 pieces because it was easier to manage with the shed being here. And you know, but everything's turned out pretty good. We got our power, got a light, got our above head light here, and everything looks pretty good. So we'll cut some more pieces and move forward. Alright, I'm back at it again. I'm in this shed that I'm turning into a studio, room, office, whatever you want to call it. And as you see, I've sanded the heck out of it. I got a couple little areas, like this spot right here was kind of made into a little cast because of the fact that there was a conduit coming from here, a metal conduit, and it was kind of exposed. So I've covered up most of it. So I'm going to hit this last because I had to build it up. And I've also, before I get too far ahead, I've also got some, I was going to just get 2 coats of paint. And, you know, just go for what I know on that. But, like most of us do. But, the guy was like, hey, if you're going to use, you're going to go over it for the first time and you're going to be using drywall, then it's not already painted, then you might want to put some drywall sealer and primer sealer. So I thought it was a good idea. You know, I agreed because, and the reason why is because if I was to cover this whole thing up right now with regular paint, let me zoom out a little bit, I probably would have to go over it twice. But by me putting the sealer up there, this sealer is actually cheaper than a gallon of paint. This is like 12 bucks. And the paint, each gallon's like $17. So I would actually come out a couple bucks cheaper. And when I put the paint up there, a gallon should do this whole room. But, you know, by everything being sucked up with the, you know, being drywall and, you know, all this other stuff with the, you know, the putty or whatever, that's just gonna, it ain't gonna come out right. So we're gonna go with this, put this up here. And I got this color paint. I'm trying to do something different here. This is called, I don't know if you can see that. This is called California Roll. You can't see that. This little JVC camera's not that bad. But I got a JVC, I'm gonna plug y'all into this camera here. I got a JVC HM series, GZ HM65BU. So let's just plug you into that if you want to know what I'm using. But there you go. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We got this, we zoom out on it again. This California Roll, there it goes. And this is the kind of drywall sealer I'm using. And hopefully I can put this on and then go get this mixed and do this today to get this over with, because I got to go back to work. Yes, we all have regular jobs. Alright. Okay, so a real quick review of that drywall sealer. You know, I like it. I mean, truth be told, it pretty much does a good job. I mean, you can tell that here's the before and here's the after. You can tell that it seeped right into the drywall and kind of really laid into the drywall really good. So we'll see when we put the paint up there, you know, how that will, so this will absorb the paint. But any moisture in the room, any kind of, you know, whatever you call it, subtle changes in the drywall, you know, it went in there really good. So you know, I could imagine it would be a nightmare if I messed around and put the paint on without this sealer in this condition, because really it's about 40 degrees outside, 30, less than 30, and it's a little bit warmer in here, so the temperature changes. And on top of that, you probably would have just wasted 1 whole gallon of paint and would have had to go over it twice. And this seems to like it'll do a better job. So I'll show you the paint a little bit later after I paint it and do this other side. But I gotta go.